Okay, we're good. Welcome everybody to our Monday night empowerment session, and so glad to have everybody joining us here tonight on a holiday week. And tonight we will be learning about the Lift Essential Oil Blend. Let's start our time with hearing from Becky Deckelbaum.
Hi, it's Becky again. Thanks, Valerie, for having me back to talk about one of my very favorite products in the Lift category, and that's the Soul Essential Oil Blend of Lift. It is a little love in a bottle, is what I like to say. It definitely does exactly what it says, lift. It lifts my mood, it lifts my energy, it helps with me with mental focus, and I diffuse this one almost daily around here. And not only is it that cinnamon flavor, but there's 3 types of citrus in it. And so this blend definitely is evoking a happiness, a contentment or a joy that comes along with it. It's really comforting, actually. And so right now we happen to have our house on the market. And one of the things that always is being said about our house is how welcoming it is with the scent. People love it. Now, I don't use artificial forms of making my house smell good. I've gotten rid of all of those things of the past, and I'm only using essential oils. And this blend is, as you know, antifungal, antibacterial, and antiviral, but the fact that it brings up the mood and it really helps people to focus, and I'm hoping that it'll help sell my house, but the kitchen is what the kitchen is. But in the meantime, I love it. Brings up my mood, brings up my energy, and it is a perfect complement to my day.
Thank you, Becky. That was outstanding. I just love that people always comment about how great that your house smells from simply diffusing that lift. And the fact that it's bringing that joy into your house. Hopefully people will see your house as a place of joy. So we are going to look at the Lift Essential Oil Blend, and let's start off by looking at the individual oils that comprise this blend. Cinnamon, we have oil from both the leaf and the bark in there, and that is an oil that supports the body and emotions for grounding and completeness. So it does help you feel more who you are. And notice I title this becoming who you are. Cinnamon is like giving yourself a big hug, helping you feel safe and secure. It helps combat those feelings of abandonment. It also helps with blood sugar management. And if you guys remember in our past webinars, we've talked about how even just a drop of essential oil blend can immediately get throughout the system so quickly. And cinnamon is so good with helping with that blood sugar management, which means it's also going to help with focus. And when we balance blood sugar, it also works on bringing sweetness into life. And just like Becky said, inspiring joy. It also helps to give strength of purpose and enhancing our creativity. So helping knowing what our goal is, what our purpose is. I've seen people that talk about the lift helping them to accomplish more things on their to-do list. Blood orange is another essential oil that's in here, and it is very good as well for supporting the immune system. It does have vitamins C and B in it. It is a lymphatic decongestant. It also helps increase chi, so your energy and just your energy and flow. You can see it complements the cinnamon beautifully with how it helps with lifting mood. There's that focus again. And we're looking at awakening creativity. So a very good complement. Cheerfulness, radiance, happiness, joy, and positivity. Can you see why people have always associated this blend? Actually, I've had several people tell me it smells like Christmas in a bottle. And think about how some of these emotions tie back to that. I love this here where blood orange also recharges and also unwinds and revitalizes the mind. Think about that, unwinding, so that you're not just all bound up and not being able to unlock. It helps you to otherwise let go. And that has to do with your body and spirit as well. And you can see where that's complemented in its action and working like an antidepressant as well. We also see it has a digestive support as well. Pink grapefruit is a phenomenal essential oil blend that I long used by itself before we got the opportunity to have it in the Lift blend. It works as a lymphatic decongestant and is very effective at moving things out of the system, and especially reducing, catch the word here, stuck fluids and emotions. So otherwise moving through, moving past. In fact, I remember being in a class years ago where the person sitting next to me got some on their hand, and then they couldn't understand why the rest of the class, they just kept having to get up and go use the bathroom. In fact, they'd been retaining water, and what happened was the grapefruit got everything moving. So the Lift, because it has a pink grapefruit in there, it's going to be very good for that. Pink grapefruit also combats bitterness. That makes me think too, this Lift combination would be great for people who have difficulty around the holidays as well. Because we all have different past histories and stories, and so being able to change the holidays and maybe something that at least have a little more joy in them. So pink grapefruit works on resentment, fatigue. Look at this, jet lag. It also helps combating self-doubt, raising connectivity to yourself, and works with spirituality. Notice we also have more nutrition here tying into your vitamins A, B, and C. Tryptophan, which is going to help you feel better about life. It's a natural like antidepressant. Talk about this feeling better, euphoric effect on the psyche, promoting the freedom to be. And I love that, the freedom to be who we are, who we want to be. What fun. Lime is one of the other citruses that Becky was referring to. And again, we see the immune support and booster abilities here, reducing heat, so tying into headaches, excessive perspiration, but yet, and I kind of skipped over it, but we've got, once again, focus on digestive health, how it even helps with acid reflux, hiatal hernias. And you're going to find that a lot of people find that Lift does a lot for helping with their digestion. This is another great component here, helping one adapt and adjust to changes and transitions. So talk about moving forward, stopping this stuck. And you see this great little dance that all these oils are doing together. You can see why Jennifer combined them. They play so well together and make a great happy family. I like this here, how lime supports overcoming a tired mind. With everything going on in life, it's so easy to literally just have that not just exhausted physically, but exhausted our mind. And lime, being a component of Lift, can help to challenge that. Also helps to restore, balance your emotions, encouraging compassion and self-love. Can you see where the balance of adding in the self-love along with the freedom to be, how this can help us step into a little bit and find our purpose in life? And then we have one final oil in here, which has been one of my absolute favorites for years. And it's a reason I love the Lift so much, with the Raven Sara. It is so good and always been so fantastic for me whenever I would start to get a cold, because for me, on the rare occasion that I would, if it even got the opportunity to settle in my chest, then I would have a hard time overcoming it. And Raven Sara was so good at combating that. In fact, I would always use a little bit right there on the sternum, where the main thoracic lymphatic ducts are, right there in the thoracic region. And that would help take that heaviness out of there so quickly. It also is fantastic for, and you see it right here, exhaustion, mental and physical fatigue as well. And having the past adrenal issues, this is one of the reasons I love the Raven Sara. Also helping to release feelings of defeatedness. Right now, can you see why this would be such a great oil to have in our blend right now? And of course, you can see every one of these helps to support the immune system. What a phenomenally exciting blend to have here and at our disposal. So just remember, all of these are lifting up our immune system, our digestive tract, helping the tired mind, tired body, and a worn out nervous system to get up and start to interact and find joy in life again. So we have quite a few people that have used Lift with their thyroid, so many that I thought it might be good to devote a little bit of time to helping people to know whether or not their thyroid might need lifting. And what we're talking about is just using a little bit of Lift in the roll-on bottle with a carrier oil. And of course, if people are talking about the thyroid needing lifting, they may recognize a lot of these things we're going to talk about being tied with hypothyroidism. So it might be someone who's dealing with extreme tiredness, maybe lack of motivation. And as you're seeing this list here, think about what we just covered and how many of those aspects of those oils would address that. Memory loss or brain fog, depression, hearing loss. A lot of people are not aware that that can tie in with thyroid concerns. That 3 p.m. crash. In fact, I've seen where many people can take a drop of the lift, put it in the palms of their hands, rub them together, and then take a long, deep breathing in, or just breathe in over the bottle, and it can help combat that 3 p.m. crash. Rigid and brittle nails can be a sign of issues with the thyroid. So paying attention to that. Joint or muscle pain. And that's not from just having had a hard workout. Sparse eyebrows, especially the ends. A lot of people start noticing that the hairs in the eyebrows at the end start falling out. This would be an indicator that maybe that thyroid needs some support. Hoarseness in their voice. They literally sound like they're have always just coming off of like laryngitis, or they just need a drink of water. Slower thinking. When you find that you just can't retrieve those thoughts as well as you used to. A receding hairline, another indicator that the thyroid might need some support. And of course, weight gain, most people are familiar with that. But yet there's some others, and literally what I'm listing here is kind of a drop in the bucket when it ties to some of the thyroid concerns. Slow speech, or like a thick tongue, so people having a hard time enunciating, getting their words out. A puffy face or edema and swelling in the face, infertility issues, dry skin, menstrual disturbances, cold intolerance is one that I see a lot for people with thyroid concerns. And then slow pulse rate. And so we have had great results for people taking that lift, like I said, and putting in a carrier and putting it over that thyroid. Also, dull eyes is another one. In fact, you can see it when you look at someone and they're just not there. There's just no spark there. That might be a person who might be where you might consider utilizing the thyroid in this manner. So this is a great testimony from Shauna Kaufman. And it ties right in what we're talking about. And she was one of the first ones that she used to always carry around that lift in the roll-on. And I remember our discussions, and you can see in the picture here, she's got the redness that is on her neck. And that actually comes from applying that blend to the neck. And in this case, she's now shifting to the comfort, which we know the lift is one of the main components in that blend. Well, what's happening is it's bringing circulation to that area and bringing that red into it. And so if you look right here, her testimony is talking about, says she was in a 2-day class, and she knows she gets tired in the afternoon at around after 3 p.m. So there's that 3 p.m. crash. So she knows the thyroid is a contributor to it. And ever since the oils were released, she would roll a lift, and now she carries comfort. She says it's an immediate pick-me-up. And of course, it does smell divine. So over and over again, we get this type of a story when it comes to the lift when they're using it with their thyroid. I want to talk a little bit now about the difference between a synthetic perfume versus a natural essential oil. And we're going to start with just looking at this base story that I've heard for years, but I realize not everyone may have heard this story. And it's about a person who always was using lavender. It says there's a well-repeated story in aromatherapy circles that comes out of Europe, where a business traveler who had an inflamed condition of the colon was on an extended business trip and ran out of lavender oil. His doctor had him topically applying the oil to reduce the swelling inflammation of his condition. He went to a local chemist, because he was in Europe, or we would call that a pharmacy in the United States, to buy a bottle of lavender oil. At his hotel, he applied the oil as he had always done. Instead of cooling and reducing the inflammation of his condition, his tissues were burning and swelling. At the hospital, they had to take emergency measures to correct the situation. It says upon reviewing what had happened, it was discovered that the chemist had sold him a bottle of synthetic lavender oil, not the natural variety he had always bought before. And this is a classical example. Think about, for me, it's been forever. I may say that because I got first exposed to essential oils when I was a teenager. But I have a very difficult time going anywhere near any of the perfumes in any of the stores or being around a person who's wearing heavy duty perfume or colognes because of all the synthetic smells. And what happens is you get the opposite reaction with the synthetic as opposed to natural. And that is right here is explained, says those scents that have been synthetically reproduced do not exhibit the same therapeutic response as natural essential oils do. And it's because when they talk about the polarization of the synthetic or what happens when they make them, it's always the opposite of the natural. Therefore, you will have the opposite therapeutic effect. That is why when I'm around a synthetic oil or a fragrance that would normally be relaxing to me, it literally winds me up. It can make me angry, agitated. I have to get out of the room. It can give me a headache. It makes me miserable. So I was looking at it and thinking what was a simple way to maybe get this idea across even better. And maybe this will make sense to you, maybe it won't, but I thought it was kind of fun. And that is the difference between synthetic lawn versus natural grass. For me, natural grass, I can go out and go barefoot. I'll lay down in it. I just, I can read a book. I'm happy and content. I feel grounded and nurtured. I just feel phenomenal when I get done being out. Like, I have a picnic in it. But a synthetic lawn, I have no desire. It's prickly. It's just not comfortable. There's no rejuvenation or restoration that happens to me being around it. This to me is kind of an analogy or a similarity as to the way that essential oils, when it's the real deal, as opposed to synthetic, how it affects the system. So how would you know when is a good time to reach for the lift? Let's look at some basics. Is there depression that's being dealt with? Might consider using the lift. Is there an underactive area? Otherwise, an area that maybe is not getting circulation like we want it to get. The lift can be outstanding at getting, as we saw exhibited in the picture on Shauna's neck with the redness. Are there blood sugar issues? Is there fatigue? And we're talking about that just exhausted type fatigue. Is there impaired circulation? So not only can we have an underactive area because of impaired circulation, but we can also have underactive maybe just because of surgery. But there's two different ways that can happen. That's why I put both of those in there. And does it smell irresistible? We do always want to listen to that. Does it just grab you and say, please use me? I had forgotten until I was doing the research about this great story from one of my clients. In this case, it did involve all four of the oils, but I wanted to bring it out because you can see part of the aspect of how the lift was tying into it. And I said, I just got off the phone with this person and I had to immediately share this exciting testimony. I have a client whose mother is in her late 90s and in the Alzheimer's wing of the nursing home. She mixed up a small roll-on bottle with 4 drops of each Clarify, Lift, Balance, and Calm. For those of us, we also call that the Everything Blend, and the remainder in grapeseed oil. When her mother smelled it, her face lit up, and for the first time in months, she recognized her children and her husband. And again, just repeating the story brings tears to my eyes again, and I can no longer imagine a world without soul in it. Guys, what an amazing story to have right now. I just can't even imagine being in that type of situation, and how exciting to have witnessed something like that and witness it because I got to see it hear it through my client's voice. And then when I saw her in person, just so exciting. Guys, what an amazing opportunity to know about these and be able to share them and see other people's lives change. So at this point, what I'm going to do is want to turn it over to Greg, and he's got some thoughts on lift. So Greg, do you need me to share the screen with you?
Yeah, yes, I do. Thanks, Valerie.
All right. Let me get you as a...
Wow, what a
host.
testimonial, though. I love that. I mean, especially thinking of right now, for how many months we've had care centers just locked down. In fact, I don't know, I'm sure it's the same with you and in every community. We're thinking of how can we lift them a little this season? We can't go in, for those of you like music, it's sometimes go in and play an instrument or ways that we can bring a little bit of joy. And we can't do any of those things, at least around here in any of the care centers. In fact, I was talking today, Jordan, most of you know him. One of his neighbors owns 2 care centers. And you know what he said? He said in his care center, now they haven't lost a single person to COVID, but every single person has tested positive in one of his care centers. And you think about, they've been completely locked down, and that's another interesting topic. But the part that really has me thinking today that Valerie was just teaching is just this whole idea of lifting. And I only have one slide to share today because it goes with lift oil, but it's really for that whole category. And honestly, it's for what you already do. It's called, I saw it from a presentation years ago and I saved it. So I'm going to share my screen now. And I just liked it because I love the title. And I love the little thought, the thought-provoking statements on it, because Valerie's taught us about this already. I mean, tons of ideas, and Shauna, and the testimonials too. I hope that you kind of get into a habit, right? Where you listen to these and you're thinking about people. You think about, hopefully you include yourself in the people. When you hear these, I mean, I think it's natural. I hope it is. I hope it's natural for all of us to think about ourselves and what can be useful, because the stronger and the more lifted we are, the more we can lift someone else, right? We got to be on higher ground to lift. Heard that for a lot of years. And I guess that's true. Sometimes lifting someone pulls you up on higher ground, but we got to have that kind of energy. We've got to treat ourselves with that love. And I love the oils because they do that. A lot of things that Valerie taught are exactly that, about how we feel about ourselves. That is one of the big things that I've noticed with Liv, and why I love comfort just as much, because I was noticing that you had that bottle, Shauna, on yours, because it's lift to me and some more. But I love this thought. And I almost feel a little guilty sharing it with you, because I'm looking at your faces and you already do this. This is how you live, is lift others. So I'm not sharing this to give you an idea. You already have the ideas. I just want you to know I see that already in you. But I like to read it, because every so often I like to think, who's not on my radar? Who is not on it right now? Someone that I come in contact that's not on my radar, that maybe they need lifting. And so that's a thought that I was going to leave for us tonight with this. Is there someone not on your radar? We can think a little differently, because this is an easy way to lift someone. It's powerful and easy. And Valerie just gave us a bunch of ideas. I mean, the blood sugar management, eating, I think that's a big group. This time of year, seasonal affective issues, it's a great time of year to boost the lifting. You made me think about roll-ons on my feet, in the socks, and diffusing. And I love it on the chest and where the thyroid is. There's lots of places when it's irresistible. Sometimes the place, I was going to ask Valerie and some of you that. Do you ever have people tell you, or do you ever notice it where it's not just the odor that might be, the aroma that might be irresistible, but do you ever have anyone tell you there's a place where they felt like they need to put it that was irresistible? I need to roll it here. Are there any that come to mind that you could? I'm just curious on that one.
Oh, absolutely. And in fact, that's what I teach people is listen. And even if logically they think, well, I should be putting it here on my wrist, but their elbow's saying, well, I really want it here, to listen to that area and go ahead and put it there and trust the body's intelligence.
So I wondered, so you have that quite a bit, huh, Valerie? People like, this is where I felt like to put it. Shauna, you're nodding your head too. Same thing. Yeah. Immune strengthening, powerful antiviral. Oh, one thing we can do, we can always lift. We can always lift and strengthen nutrition. We can do that every day easily. We can sort of do it, whenever the moment that we're thinking about it is, and it's always good to do it. Because like Valerie said, the body's smart. And with these oils, knowing how much, how often. We can do that. And I'm thinking if we can do it for ourselves, if we can do it for someone else, it's just a matter of having that relationship, right? Energizing, revitalizing, recharge. Man, I don't know anybody right now. I don't know anybody right now who doesn't want a little bit more of that. Even the strongest. I'll just speak for myself, okay? Because maybe I view myself a certain way, busy in all of this, and I want more recharging right now and energizing. I see that in myself. So I'm thinking this is super timely, Valerie, especially this coming month, because it's just the positioning of holidays and times where so much good is enjoyed when it can't be that way for someone. You know, we all kind of go through those periods. That's when we need the extra lift, and it doesn't happen if it doesn't happen from us or someone like who's thinking like this. But I mean, another way to lift them, I love this idea of lifting. This is another question I have for each of you because I don't have experience here, but this is a great astringent. It's one of the best toners, skin toner, emotion toner too. I think Valerie really taught that. But muscles, tissue, skin, have you or anyone used it as like a skin tone lifting? There are creams to lift skin. So like AC with the lift and AC as a like almost like a facial lift, almost like a mask thing you put on, I don't know, at night or in the morning. Have you guys, has that one been used? Because it caught my eye as I look back to Jennifer's notes here.
I have not used it with anyone on the face, but I'm also extremely fair skinned, so I can't do like the cinnamon on the face at all.
I actually am not quite as fair skinned, Valerie, but it does get me too in certain places if I just roll it on. So even if you put it in the AC, same thing. If you mix
Correct.
Okay. So you got to be careful.
Yeah.
You got to be careful on that one, right?
Mm-hmm.
But and then I like this life change one. Anytime there's been a big change, relocation, a new job, a death, menopause, puberty, any new phase, new sibling, new parent, little kids getting used to now there's a little sister and a little brother. Gone through that one. Yeah, Valerie.
Tammy's got a great comment down there. She says that she uses the comfort with the AC on the face. We can do it that way. The way Jennifer has it blended, it works great.
Oh, okay. I might try that, Tammy, because too many bike rides and like lots of hours in the sun for me. And I actually put AC cream always in the morning as an aftershave. And then if I, after a workout, if I shower, because I have such dry skin, I'll do it too. But I actually have not been adding the oils because of what Valerie said. I've noticed that with me too. I might try that comfort then. So you open up the comfort and drop a little.
That's what Tammy said. Bontrager, she typed in, said that's what she does.
Tammy does. Yeah. So that anyway, I just like this slide. Lift someone up. You already do it. Maybe there's somebody that's not on our radar we can find. You know, we're starting this season to lift its soul. Is it start today? It actually started today, huh?
Yes.
Does everyone know what Season to Lift is? If you haven't seen it, go watch I don't know, Valerie, it's just been posted, right? Or was it posted last weekend?
No, it just came in today. And yeah, like this, talk about synchronicity.
Yeah, I know you were actually leading out because you prepped this first. You already had this in the plan. We just matched up to you. No. But I do think, yeah. For like brief overview, it's about lifting someone, and then just post, and then you post 3 people. They kind of say it as a challenge. I more say it as an invitation. Here's how I look at it. You're already doing it, but I do like this idea of thinking, okay, maybe is there someone I haven't thought of? I like that thought, and then posting and responding to that, and then we sort of spread and send all that positive energy out there. I like that part of it a lot. So we need tons of that, don't we? And we've got the oils and the products to do it. My last thought, I apologize today for a little bit of a ramble on that, Valerie. My last thought is that Lift goes so well with the complementary products, with Cinemate, with Power Chi. I've been using that. That's for another day. Whenever Valerie's on to Power Chi, I'll share my recent experience just personally with that one. But this is a really good season for lifting, a special for me and for a lot of people I know. It's an especially appropriate, especially needful, I'll just put it that way, to get used to how those are in the body and give what we need there for the body. So anyway, Valerie, back to you.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you. And that actually, your slide was a great segue, because one of the things I also wanted to share was this time of year, we do have a lot, unfortunately, a lot of people have gone through loss. So it's an anniversary of loss for a lot of people. And one of the things that we do is utilize the comfort for that, which also has lifted, and they put it over their heart. And it makes a huge, huge difference for helping people right now. All right. So I had another neat testimony from Angela Brucheski. And of course, we've talked about using the balance for warts. So I thought this was so neat that she used the lift. And she has it documented in here. And the difference she saw in 3 days, guys. Now, we'll read it all here. It says, anyone get weird warts that come back on your hands every 2 years or so? And she said, I'm guessing that's what these are. She said she grabbed the wart remover from the store last week because she wanted to see him gone and didn't have all of her soul stuff visiting her parents. After 4 days, she was not seeing a bit of difference. So when she got home, she grabbed the AC cream, Clarify, and then the Lift chapstick to make a quick concoction. Slapped a Band-Aid on each day, and here were the results. She said she could definitely see them flattening out and returning to normal. She said, herbs for the wind. And oils, we have all the oils you'll ever need in just 4 bottles. Simple, easy, and it won't break the bank. I love it how people are learning to think outside the box, think outside the bottle in this case, and utilize these in so many different ways and getting such a varied type of responses. Everyone knows what a big believer I am at getting the basic nutrition in with their system by utilizing the Vital, the Cinemate, the Vertizymes, and the ProBio IQ. And if you have any doubts or questions about that, I do have a webinar that specifically focuses on that and why we utilize that. But I would in particularly think that now, and this is one of the reasons I wanted to tie the lift in with this week, particularly with the kind of this start of the holiday season, but bringing the lift in not only to support the immune system, but to support the emotions as and the change of seasons. There's all kinds of things that impact the body right now, and why not have it smell joyful as well? So I'd like to finish off with this quote, and I love this picture, and I just thought this was very apropos. What you do today can improve all your tomorrows. And this goes in so many different options, and now you guys have options right there in your hands. I mean, you feel a little bit off, you're having a rough time, grab that lift in that roll-on, grab the comfort and apply them. Let's bring some joy in. Let's get unstuck. Let's move forward and make the best of our today so we can improve the tomorrows. Next week, I hope you'll be joining us, and we'll be looking at the 4th blend in the Personal Spa Pack, and that is the Clarify. And we'll be looking at promoting cellular health next Monday at 6:30.